Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yeah.
What it do, HalfAndJai family. Welcome back to the channel, baby. It's your boy Half.
And your girl Jay.
And we back
with another reaction video.
You dig?
I dug.
You dig?
What?
All right. You gonna keep coming over here and interrupting us, huh?
Company, y'all.
Huh? You gonna let us record? You gonna let us record? Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, you gonna watch your cartoon right now? Okay, go watch your cartoon for a minute, okay?
I'll get my phone.
While we do this, okay? Okay, thank you. You can watch it right there. Watch it right there.
Sit in the chair. Thank you, big head.
Thank you.
Mwah.
All right, y'all. So we're about to get into some more reactions. How everybody out there doing?
Yes.
Hope everybody out there doing hope everybody out there doing fabulous.
Yes.
You feel me? Let them know who we're reacting today, sweetie.
We are reacting to...
Candace Owens.
Oh, okay. Is it race or personal choices that determine poverty rates?
Is it race or personal choices? I can answer that for you right now. Personal choices. But let's jump into it and let's see what they got to say about it. But before we do, everybody that's out there who has not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Turn your post notifications on.
Yes.
Like and share this video.
Yes.
And comment down below, baby. Down below. Come and join the squad, man. HalfAndJai.
Wow.
We over here kicking off.
What?
Good vibes, baby. Good vibes.
Oh,
yeah, you forgot that.
And boom.
How long we got to do it for, though?
You got to feel it. However
So as soon as you start feeling it, I got to let it go?
Yeah.
Sonic boom!
Yes.
There we go.
See? It feels good, huh?
Yeah, it feels good. I was trying to say Sonic boom.
Sonic boom?
Yeah.
Okay.
More to come back.
Okay.
Get over here! Oh, you can. Oh, that's Street Fighter. Damn, man. Get it together. Get it together.
The black conservative movement is it's not covered by the media at all. And you're the biggest voice in it, but there's tons of people out there, Coleman Hughes, whatever, a lot of different people. And the media ignores this like it's not happening. And some of the most interesting conversations...
I just noticed she's married? Mm-hmm. I never knew that. Mm-hmm. Okay, never knew that.
The media ignores this like it's not happening. And some of the most interesting conversations that are happening online are black conservatives that are talking about American policy and disagreeing and it's very, very interesting. Trump made gains with minority voters. You know, What do you think explains that? Because we've had the most strenuous year for race relations probably that I can remember. Man. And Donald Trump, who's a very volatile figure, gains with minority voters. What would you attribute that to?
People like me, independent voices. People are not buying it anymore, and goes back to what we talked about earlier, the fatigue of victimhood. I mean, if you weren't tired of being just black this year.
That's a good way to word that. The fatigue of victimhood. Or victimhood. Mm-hmm. Like, you're tired of being victim. Mm-hmm. Like, it's wearing you down. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? What, like.
I can vouch for that.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
I got tired.
Man.
Fatigue of victimhood. I mean, if you weren't tired of being just black this year, when everything, you're struggling, you're just being black. I mean, at a certain point, I kept saying, Black America's going to wake up to this game. You can't just keep doing this every 4 years and popping around and then Black Lives Matter, disappearing like a magic act and then jumping back in, for the next election cycle. Eventually, black people are going to get smart. And that's what's happening. We're having conversations. We have our own platforms. This is the reason why the left is ignoring us, but at the same time pushing for social media censorship, because it's problematic when people like Candace Owens can gain, millions and millions of followers, and, they are no longer relying on the mainstream narrative about race, right? They have another option. That option sounds a lot better than waking up every day and being miserable just because of the color of your skin and seeing yourself as a victim. Like it just feels better. I have a better product, right? You get to go out and be happy and live your life. You can do anything you want because this is the greatest country in the world, versus you are a victim, permanently a victim. Your life is going to suck forever because you were born with brown skin.
But I think it would be fair to say that black people face a different set of challenges than white people. They in many cases, right? And that
in what way specifically?
Well, I think that if you look at where I grew up in Long Island. In Long Island, a lot of my friends were able to inherit homes because their parents got loans after World War II, or their grandparents got loans after World War II to buy these houses. And they created the suburbs. I think a lot of black people were excluded, not only from those loans, but also from like those communities, like realtors that showed black people houses would be threatened. And it was like, so the suburbs and the house, which seemed like the engine of wealth for a lot of middle-class families, right? Building equity in something, ownership. If black people were excluded from that. So I feel like there is a little bit of catch-up being played, certainly.
But there's not, because it doesn't explain or account for the reason that black Americans during my grandfather's time did better than black Americans during my father's time. So that defeats your entire argument, right?
Well,
there was more
what do you mean?
ownership. So what happened from, the 1950s through to the 1970s, that black Americans became more impoverished, owned less homes, and became more reliant upon the government structure. And the truth is we married the government, welfare. And now, whether you want to argue whether or not that was strategic and whether it's the fault of the government and Lyndon Baines Johnson, for opposing the Great Society Act, which is what.
But see, he did make a good point, though. Mm-hmm. After the World War II and stuff like that, how some families was rewarded homes and this, that, and the third, and that was facts back then. Like blacks was excluded from that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, not all cases, but some cases they was excluded from that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's a good point, and it prevents black families to leave behind some generational wealth to their children. You know what I'm saying? To leave a house for their children. Mm-hmm. Like how many people do you know in your own personal life that somebody actually left a home for that person?
No.
You know what I mean? So, he made a good point there. He made a good point.
Mm-hmm. It's the fault of the government and Lyndon Baines Johnson, for opposing the Great Society Act, which is what married black women to the government. That's an argument you can have, but you can't say it's because there's this long-standing black Americans just couldn't break away. If you look at the 100 years following slavery, black Americans did well. The fact that black Americans performed better economically under Jim Crow laws than they are doing today, you just cannot point to a systemic racism. It has to do with choices, the choices that we made to marry the government, and the fact that we cannot outthink this government structure, that, black Americans still believe in the victimhood and will take the handouts, that black Americans will take to the streets and demand, AOC right now is saying we need to make sure, black and brown people, the government pays them to stay home. Well, hello, welfare policies that, were the first thing that crippled black America in the first place, that they're being reintroduced right now under COVID-19. So I always see right now, we have a choice right now if we're going to give another 100 years to black poverty by all of us saying yes to more government handouts. We don't need government handouts. That's the biggest issue, is more and more from the government. The government is not our parent, it's not our mother, it's not our father. It was an attack on the black family. But if we don't wake up to that, we're never going to get ahead. Black people make the worst decisions out of every group in America, and you can compare us to who is the most successful group in America. It's not white Americans. So your argument about white Americans,
who is it? Is it Asians? It's Asian. I forget who it is. Is it Asians? Some Asians, Indians do well.
They weren't given anything.
Indians do well. I'm Irish. We haven't done great.
Yeah. So nobody wants to talk about Asians because it defeats all of the arguments when white people had it easier, because no one's going to say Asian people during World War II were Japanese people were in internment camps.
Right. Well, that should be the title of your.
So why are they right about white Americans today?
The title of your next book should be "Nobody Wants to Talk About Asians" by Candace Owens.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah, I do understand, but as a white person, I always say to myself, I was a druggie, I drove around, I did not get pulled over nearly as much as my black friends. I feel like they 100% are more likely to get pulled over, more likely to go to jail. And we're doing a lot of the same things, right? I was, irresponsible, reckless human being. And I just feel like I definitely had certain advantages that put me in a better position versus a kid, just the idea that I had money for a lawyer. So if there's a black kid who got caught smoking a blunt and went to jail, and my parents could maybe get me a lawyer to get me out of it. That to me it's easier being white than if that's the right.
And see, but here's what's wrong. You just brought up a good point and then you racialized it. Okay. Rich people. Yes. Economic privilege is a real thing. It didn't happen because you're white, right? So it didn't matter if you think that Puff Daddy's son is not going to be better off being pulled off if he has pot, right, than some poor white kid. You're wrong. But you accepted the argument that it's because of the color of your skin, not because of your economic circumstances.
Right.
Because of your economic circumstances. Oprah Winfrey doesn't have any offspring, but I'll guarantee you that if they ever got into trouble, they'd be able to get out. Malia and Sasha Obama, who we know like to smoke pot, good for them. They're enjoying their teenage years, right? They are not going to go through the same things that a poor white trash kid is going through. Stop racializing it.
Do you think we should
rich people have more privilege?
But I mean, that's all. Like she said, that's been like that. Damn near since the beginning of entertainment, so to speak, or celebrity status. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause once you in that celebrity status, how they call it, high profile, you get those privileges.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus an average Joe like me and you. You feel me? So she's right about that.
Their
But what I did not know was the Obama daughter smoking weed.
Oh my.
I didn't know that though.
Breaking news.
You know what I'm saying?
Breaking news.
Let's go ahead and roll one up.
Sasha Obama, who we know like to smoke pot, good for them. They're enjoying their teenage years, right? They are not going to go through the same things that a poor white trash kid is going through. Stop racializing it.
Do you think we should
rich people have more privilege?
Do you think
That's common sense.
Do you think we should legalize weed so that we don't have this crazy drug war that's putting people in jail?
No. I mean, listen. I have to think through those arguments more because I do think that first and foremost, I think conservatives that pretend like pot is the worst thing in the entire world are just completely crazy and out of control. But the issue is the slippery slope argument, and we know that's real because right now in California, what are they doing? Trying to, with heroin and methamphetamine, they're trying to make it so you just get a ticket and keep going. So the problem with the left is that you never just stop at one thing. You're not like, okay, you legalize pot and they're going to be done, right? They're like already in California pushing for decriminalizing methamphetamine and heroin, and this is now an argument that we have to fight. So it's hard to find what the right answer is when you know that it's never enough to do one thing, meaning a couple of years ago, it was all about just gay marriage.
Right.
I mean, the second the Supreme Court passed gay marriage, we were on trans rights, and it's been shoved down our throat. And now we're at kids picking their gender, and bathroom signs need to be all inclusive, and men need tampons in their restroom. So, I mean, I don't know where I stand on it completely because
that is crazy. And like I said, I don't have no problem with no lesbian, no homo, gay person. I don't have no problem with none of that. But where I have a problem at, where I think people should draw the line at, is when you have kids like this that's 2 years old that got to go into a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I think the line should be drawn at. They should be able to have their own public bathroom that they can go in and do their thing in. It shouldn't have to be in a unisex form. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that is my personal opinion. I mean, some people may not like me for that, or they may dislike me for that, or whatever the case may be. But I think when it comes to children, they shouldn't have to see that at that age. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have to worry about your 5-year-old going into a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, you have because you never know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how you feel about that?
About the bathrooms?
Yeah.
It's awkward because I really, I don't really use public bathrooms,
Right.
but is it set up now to where men and women share the bathroom?
Yeah, they got like a unisex thing.
Yeah, see.
To where it shows like even on the front of the bathroom, so it shows, it says, I think it has a woman and a man on there now. I believe. You know how the difference, and you know what I mean?
That's not safe.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not safe
That,
at all.
that's what I mean by that. Like I don't that's the only part I disagree with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they should have to where they have their own, like how men have their own bathroom, women have their own bathroom, then they should have their own bathroom as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my personal opinion, man. That's just my personal opinion.
And need tampons in their restroom. So, I mean, I don't know where I stand on it completely because I understand.
But isn't there a little bit of a, listen, slippery slope argument certainly makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But isn't there so much pain happening because of nonviolent drug offenders being in jail for so long? It's disproportionately affected people that are, as you said, economically disenfranchised. Lots of them happen to be black and Hispanic. I just feel like there's so much pain, there's so many real world consequences to that particular law that we should, especially when it is legal in certain, yeah, it is legal in certain parts of the country. People are becoming millionaires. Yeah, okay. So we can decriminalize.
Decriminalizing is different than making it legal. And I agree with you. I think we spend a lot of time, the idea of anyone being in prison for smoking pot is just ridiculous.
Now, where are you? Are you strictly pro-life, no abortion, no matter what? See, I don't know. We don't know where Candace Owens feels about every single issue. We don't. Are you like 100% never can have an abortion, or is there any gray area with you?
The problem is that there's no gray area with the left, right? So I'm pro-life. I'm unapologetically pro-life because I understand now, as someone who used to be pro-choice, just how brainwashed you are as a young girl in school about abortion. I mean, until I was 25, I thought it was just a clump of cells, which is crazy. I mean, that's they're fundamentally teaching you that abortion is birth control. And that it is the responsible thing for you to, kill your child. And when I actually understood the history of abortion and studied Margaret Sanger and understood that it was actually a eugenicist movement, where people were trying to get rid of black people having any offspring. And when you look at the numbers and you realize that it is black Americans that are giving disproportionately, the black population would be double today if it wasn't for abortion. That's a scary thing to even say. And that these clinics are being put strategically in black and Hispanic neighborhoods. I have an issue with what abortion was designed to do and the fact that it's been largely successful. By Margaret Sanger, through and through is just as an American success story. She wanted to make sure people that were black and brown, as well as immigrants from Eastern Europe, were not able to have any offspring. So I have an issue because I'm educated about it.
This is correct.
That subject's a touchy subject, though. You
Right.
know, I really don't even like speaking on that subject because it's so sensitive. It's really, really, really sensitive. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. But as far as the race is concerned, what the title was, it's race or it's a personal choice to determine poverty. I would say it's a personal choice.
Right.
Especially nowadays.
Exactly.
It's a personal choice.
Right.
If you choose to, like for example, when I was younger, I was out there, selling drugs and, all the stupid stuff, right? I was one of those ones who was always getting targeted when I left a certain area or a certain street or a certain neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Because for number one, I have already got caught doing my thing. So they already knew what I was about. So they knew if I was coming out of a certain area, a certain street, 9 times out of 10, he's probably over there doing what we caught him for. Right? So I would get pulled over. Of course, they'll make an excuse, seatbelt, tinted windows, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But at that time, in my mind, the way I was, brought up, and my mentality at that time was that they're picking on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being stereotyped. You know what I mean? But I wasn't really, I didn't really understand at that time that, hey, what I'm doing is giving them more fuel to
pull you
pull
over.
me over. You know what I'm saying? So, cause my dad lived in the same neighborhood. He never got pulled over. Leaving out, yeah.
Right.
Unless he didn't tell me about it. You know what I mean? But he never got, pulled over. So, it's just your personal choices will lead to certain outcomes.
Right. Exactly.
No matter what the skin color is.
Exactly.
No matter what the skin color is. So one of my best friends is Hispanic. Well, that kind of defeats the point. But another one of my best friends is white. And he lives over there off, in the out area, like the 5-time area type thing. And he got pulled over a few times. He drives a nice car, it's an Infinity. So I mean, that nowadays it's just different to me.
Right.
It's not, how it used to be.
It's not. Totally different.
Right.
Life right before it has changed right before our eyes. It's
Literally.
so different
Literally.
from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Like very, very different.
Right.
And it takes some getting used to. And I'm shocked every day. Every day there's something new and different and shocking that, comes on TV, on the news.
Right.
Like, it's always something.
Always. And there's been a lot of killings lately.
Yeah.
On the news and, all kinds of stuff going on. But, I mean, we just have to do better as a human race. You know what I'm saying? We have to do better as a human race. Stop always leaning towards racism and, hatred and, you know what I'm saying? I think we start picking up love and communication. You know what I'm saying? I think, it would be
And that's the thing. I think people are afraid to communicate. People are afraid to approach each other and just have a simple conversation, like asking how's your day or,
right.
Even saying hello. And it's just, I don't know.
It just seems like people are so on edge now.
I think people have trust issues.
A lot of people have trust issues. Like, for example, I was forgot where I was at. I forgot where I was at. But this girl, her tire was damn near flat. I was at the gas station. So I'm coming up the gas station. I seen the tire flat. I said, "Excuse me," and she trying to hurry up and get into the car. Like I'm trying to do something to her or something. Right? So I rolled down my window and I'm like, "Your tire flat." And I drove off. And I'm looking in my mirror, I see her get out and she's looking at it, she's like, oh, she threw her hands up like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my head like, I was trying to help you out.
Because, some women feel like you're trying to get at them or, you know what I'm saying? Some women feel that way.
Right.
So
But it was an older lady though, like, I don't know. But anyway, y'all let us know what y'all think about it. Leave a comment down below, man.
Yes.
Like I said, YouTube be trying to stop a lot of things that people say, so sometimes we can't really speak on certain things like we really want to, because we got to worry about YouTube giving us a strike or something like that. So, but anyway, y'all leave the comments down below. Let us know what y'all think about it, and we'll get to some shout-outs.
Okay. So first shout-out goes to the puppet from the Shadows Project. What's up, the puppet from the Shadows Project?
The puppet
Project.
from the... Damn.
The puppet from the Shadows Project.
Shout out to you, man. Hope you definitely enjoyed that reaction. Let us know what you thought about it. Comment down below. Make sure you come back and join us for some more. Down below, some more. Down below, some more. Down below, some more.
You would think we were on a drug.
Right.
Second shout out goes to C. Russ. What's up, C. Russ?
C. Russ, what's going on with you, champ? I see you, man.
C. Russ has been with us for a while.
All right. And don't think I ain't seen you. Okay? I'm going to add you on the PS5 today.
Oh,
you feel me?
C. Russ.
And we're going to go ahead and get one of those in.
I really need to record you for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I do. You
Don't
guys,
embarrass me like that.
The emotions, he goes from happy to mad. Like, in...
So you got to tell my minutes.
Zero. It's not even from 0 to 100.
So you got to tell my business.
It's at 0.
Yeah. It's like you got to tell my business.
Oh yeah, this is my give back.
Put me all out there like
Yep,
that.
this is my give back.
Okay. But anyway, see Russ. Tap in with your boy. Halves _world. Yeah, we will get something in though. You feel me? So, we out this thing, y'all.
Yes.
But before we go, you guys make sure you go out your way.
To have yourself a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
You feel me? We'll catch y'all in the next reaction video.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.